I've had the opportunity to have a conversation with OnlyFarmer who recently joined our kingdom, and you can navigate through the video by clicking on the timestamps and make sure to check out her channel after the video. She streams a lot, so make sure to stop by and say hi. So let's get right into it. How did you get into Rise of Kingdoms?
Well, I I got into Rise of Kingdoms during the pandemic. I think like a lot of people because I had nothing to do. So I was browsing through. I was just browsing through, and then I think Rise of Kingdoms popped up in an ad or suggestion or somewhere. So I decided to try it out.
Yeah.
And then I just I guess I couldn't stop playing because I found it quite fascinating, quite interesting. Because I had never really played a game like this before, and then yeah, I just kept building and building, and then next thing you know, I'm like, voila, here I am.
Yeah, the pandemic was a lot of players that came into the game and a lot of
I
players
think so.
stayed. So I think this was one of the best games to play during the COVID era.
Yeah, whatever they did for the marketing, it worked. So this account is actually not my original account, right?
Oh, really?
So yeah, like I was actually gifted this account during it was KVK3. KVK3 is when I was gifted this account because the owner he had a big health issues which required like a break surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So I was entrusted with this account because back then it was a main rally account in the kingdom. So I was entrusted to play this account for the KVK. And then after he had his surgery, he just told me that I can just keep the account. So that's why I kept playing. That's why I kept playing on this account. Um, and
Yeah.
the crazy thing it was already halfway to VIP 18. So
Yeah, already
back in KVK3.
in a
So
very good shape. Yeah.
yeah. So he's like the person before was a whale. I'm not a whale. So that kind of ties into after I got the account. Yes, I did spend money during KVK for Crystal Tech. I'll usually get like 1.5, maybe sometimes. Yeah, I think like 1 or 2 Mountain Warfare, 2 at the very most. Like I think I only did it once. So like it was almost like max tech. Um, like it wasn't like super fast max tech, but it was max tech account during KVKs. So when I got this account, it was KVK 3. It was at 2.3 billion KP, I remember.
Wow.
So I've put about 15 billion into it since I got it. Yeah, so I was quite happy that I managed to get like a decent amount of KP on it.
Yeah, more than decent.
Yeah. I mean, it's been pretty good. Like I mean, I keep it in Ottoman most of the time for the skill damage and march speed, which I find it to be just very useful for open field fighting.
Yeah,
Um,
very universal. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's just very universal.
Yes.
Is
Speaking of skins, civilization, do we have any special skins on the
I
account?
think so. Let's see. I have just this gathering one recently, and then I think there is a Zenith skin on here, which is this one, the Babylonian Gardens, which I still think is one of the most beautiful city skins with the flowers and waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
I still really like it. But other than that, I just use the Twilight Falls and the Divine
Yeah.
skin for the calf defense. But
Yeah.
other than that, that's it, I think.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good collection all around.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I would still really like the boat skin here.
Ah, yeah.
Like, I mean, the 12% defense. Oh my god, that'd be so good. That'd be so good. Like 12% defense.
Yeah, it's amazing. But even the 20% calorie attack, upcoming one, for
Oh
you
yeah,
would be nice for you, but it's gonna be
it.
very
I don't.
expensive.
I think it will be. I think it'll still be, but it looks quite. It looks quite. I like the skins how they look quite different now. Like, cause like they changed the design quite a bit,
Yeah,
which
that
I appreciate.
actually gave it some personality.
I think so. Like, I mean, they have over 100 city skins already, so I feel like it is difficult to create something different without going in a different direction.
Yeah, and I think they've done a good job of diversifying. Like you're scrolling through them right now, and they're not really that similar.
Yeah, I think it's very, very different than the
Yeah.
previous skin. Like, I mean, it's a boat, like the one, like, like it's not even a city anymore, it's a boat.
Okay, so can we see your stats, your kill points, stats, highest
Yep.
power?
Okay, let's go. I'll show the more info. So currently I'm at 84 million power, with 17.7 billion KP. And then if I show the breakdown,
Yeah.
like some of it's from T1s, like just, zeroing cities. And then some T4 and some T5, and
Yes.
zero range points on here.
Some. Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah, the
some.
ratio is nice. Obviously,
Yeah.
from rallying cities, I'm guessing you did that a lot. So
It's always fun to zero cities.
yeah,
But anyway, so the highest power I've gotten is 97, really close to 100. I mean, to this day, I still kind of wish that I went to 100 because I still have never reached that power. 35 million deads, um, 40 billion resource gathered, 87 billion assistance, and then 455,000 alliance help, which I'm secretly trying to get to 500,000. That's my goal.
do you know anyone who has a higher alliance help number?
That I'm not too sure. Like I think I might have seen someone that pointed out someone in 1093 has higher, but I'm not too sure. Like I kind of wish there's actually like an in-game counter for it, like to see like the top 10 alliance helps. I'm actually that I'll be really curious.
Yeah, they usually post the official Rise of Kingdoms. They usually post the KP and stuff. So this would have been interesting statistic for sure.
Yeah, helping
Yeah, it
others.
should be like a good like evaluation of the player. Like
Yeah, because it also shows your activity, right? Like, because
yes,
I
yeah,
think that's a good little representation.
yeah. I think I only had like half of it, and I play for 6 years. So that's a lot of activity on your part.
Yeah, I just like whenever I see the help button, I just can't help it but click on it.
Yeah, know the feeling.
And yeah, and then I can go over also. So I also sometimes I play Olympia as well, just for a little bit of the rewards, but I do not play it consistently. And then I guess Arc of Osiris, I play it just for the rewards as well. Need those gold heads.
Yeah,
And then my Lost Kingdom, I have not gotten any alt arc, unfortunately, which is kind of a shame.
yeah, but
And then the most kills I ever got is 93 million and 2.4 million deads.
impressive. When was that? Do you remember?
I think this was during the 24-29 KVK. Yeah, I think that's it, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of fighting there.
Yeah.
Okay, very impressive stats overall. Can we see your commanders now?
Yep, for sure. So, commander page. Okay, here we are.
Yeah,
Command.
looks shiny.
So, I mean, well, I sorted the ones by power, right? So, like, I favorite the ones that I use the most. So, I guess that's why it's just so shiny. I think
Yes,
it's
it's the
it's a nice feature actually. The favorite feature.
yeah, it is. I don't use it, so it's usually by
Because
power. So the ones you use are actually higher at the top. So
yeah, yes, because I think this way then like it cannot they cannot really be moved around too much. So I just make it a little bit easier to see for me.
well, from what I can see right now is I see 4 calorie commanders. So I'm guessing they're your favorite troop type.
Yeah, Cav is the main focus on this account. Since Like I think back then, like I think when Nevsky first came out, like XY Nevsky, that was one of the strongest pairing.
Yeah, in the game for
Because
sure.
it felt like man, it felt like if you had that March, I felt like you could like get killed so easily. So it was just the account was built. I mean, even before then, like it was just a good like choice. I think calf. So there's quite a few calf sets. Like there's two full calf sets here.
Yeah, it's very nice. Let's see,
Yeah,
you're
like
using different configuration. You're using 4-piece set here,
yeah, yep.
and you're using
And
the
then this
KVK.
one, the
Yeah.
KVK. Yeah. So I mean, this technically this is my second calf set. The only reason why I have the KVK weapon is because I have more blueprints of the helm and the weapon so far. So I made it iconic level 4 and 5.
Yeah.
So I plopped it on here. Normally I will be running the KVK set as my primary calf set, but for now I just stick with these two until I get more KVK blueprints.
I mean, it would be a waste to switch now, but when they're already tiered up so much.
Yeah, because I mean, ideally the plan is to get like as many pieces to level 4 and some level 5 as much as possible, but it's like a long-term project for me.
Of course, of course.
And then going over to my archer set, just the standard
Yeah.
Dragon's Breath.
Yeah. Old classic. Still works.
Yeah, like I was crafting this before the leadership set came out, so that was why it was just more accessible.
It was the easiest
And
set to make because
exactly, yeah,
every piece was good. Set pieces,
yeah,
bonuses were good. So
yeah.
yeah,
And
solid.
I had a bit of luck. Like these crits are from the first craft, like the chest piece, weapon, and the boots. So I was pretty lucky.
Yeah, for a cap player, that's kind of ironic
Yeah,
to get archer pieces.
yeah, and because it's like the health and defense pieces. So I was pretty happy because the helm is just attack, the gloves is just attack,
Yeah,
and the pants are also attack.
yeah,
So
that's great choices. Great
yeah.
choices.
Oh, thank you, Lilith. I think Lilith is trying to tell me like maybe be an archer player.
Yeah, maybe try the new healing once. Test it out.
Yeah, yeah. So that leads to that's why I made a second archer set, right? So when that happened, I thought, oh, maybe Lilith is trying to tell me to be an archer player. So that's why I made the 222 piece here set.
Yeah, this is the new
Um,
version.
yeah, this is the latest one, but unfortunately nothing crit. Um, but I'm still happy with it.
Do you notice the difference between the sets? Like,
I think this set gave like an overall a little bit more health over the Dragon's Breath set and a little
mm,
bit more march speed.
yeah,
So I think it helps a little bit, like on the feel a little bit. Like I'm not rallying or garrisoning with this, so I feel like it's not as big of an effect. But there is like I think like a slight help. I think.
yeah, it's a bit trickier to get, but if you get the KVK items, they're easier to obtain in
Yeah,
comparison to dragon set pieces.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Because now you get the coins. Like it's easier to get the KVK coins, right, for the blueprints. So technically, it's actually a little bit easier to iconic these pieces.
Yeah, true, because they also made the materials wise, they all cost the same. Before the KVK items were more expensive to make.
Oh, the refine like the this one, right?
No, just a general
So like,
craft. But I think
oh, just oh yeah, yeah.
I think even the refinement was more
Refine,
expensive. I
right?
but does no one even refine anymore? I feel like people just
Um,
upgrade now.
I think so. I mean, oops. Wait, that's like, wait, I can't. Oh, wait, this is I can't refine this one.
Yeah, you can refine the helmet,
There
but
we go, refine.
yeah, yeah, it's a lot of materials.
Yeah, I mean, that's the usually the bottleneck, I think, for most people, the materials.
Yeah. Okay, we got 2 archer set, 2
Yep.
cavalry sets, and
And one infantry
infantry.
set. Yeah. So again, nothing was crit on my infantry set. Um, and then I do plan on replacing the greatest glory with another horn. Once I get enough materials, so I'll just have 5 horns.
Oh, there's gonna be a crit one then.
Yeah. So I'll put the crit one on the calf set, so everything will be crit on the calf.
Nice.
So that is my current plan. And then I kind of have like a fifth and a half set, right? So this is my second infantry set, but it's not like actual field use yet. So
It's like
you
canyon
know, yeah. I
or
mean,
chaining.
I use it for barb chaining in KVK, or just sometimes even like for Golden Kingdom. Like this, it's yeah. It's just like if I need for barb chaining, usually in KVK.
Yeah, what's repairing? YG?
Um, normally, I do. Actually, I do Zeta with Richard actually in
Yeah, I do that too.
KVK for the AP reduction.
Oh, you use a different build, talent build.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I think I use this one just for 10 fewer action points, just to save this a tiny bit AP.
Yeah, that's some min-maxing right there.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I've definitely gone through KVKs before where I forgot to switch back to the normal build, so I completely forgot about it before.
yeah, I can see that. Do you ever like chase top honor ranking?
I did it once. I did it once for the 24-29 KVK.
What was?
Which we lost. So we had 0 Ultra Darkness, or maybe just 1. Yeah, I think we just had 1. And I went for top. I think I went for top 20. I ended at rank 11.
Oh,
It
nice.
was kind of expensive. It was definitely a little bit more on the expensive side because we didn't get any Ultra Darkness, so that was like a big chunk of honor points missing there. So I had to barb chain a lot more at the end. But yeah, I barb chained my way to top 20 honor points in that KVK.
Did you run out of AP?
No, I think I started. I had like 10,000 of the 50 AP bottle left, and then I ended the KVK with around 6,000 left,
Okay.
6 or 7,000 left. But now I've regained to 13,000. So, plus the other AP bottles, like the larger ones.
Mm-hmm. So did you use multiple chaining marches?
I think most of the time I use 3 marches. I think I forgot what I did exactly. I used Zeto and Richard, and then I think I did Epic Boudica with Hera for the healing.
Yeah.
And then I forgot what I did on the last one. Like I think something with Charles Martel. I think maybe like Charles Martel in YSG or something like that. I forgot. Like I think I just used 3. Like because I'm not one of those people that can do 5 marches. It's actually very difficult for me.
Yeah, it's
Um,
taxing.
yeah. So I think I did with 3 marches. I think,
All right.
and then I guess I can also go over my armaments really quickly.
Yeah.
Which I don't have any legendary inscription, unfortunately. So I just work with what I have. They're
Yeah, no
they're like
special
decent.
inscriptions.
Not really, no. Like I just have like the best one I have. I mean, this is my second one. It's just health, and then just extra damage and extra damage,
Yeah,
and then
they're good. Good inscriptions. Oh yeah, this is the main one.
this is the main one. It's just defense, extra damage, and then 4% skill damage.
And more stats.
And yeah, the stats are like pretty decent. I think like it's not too bad.
Yeah, those are really tanky cabs. There's a lot of health and defense on them.
Yeah, because I try to stack the defense because the calf set has a lot of health already. So I try to just have more defense over health on my armaments.
Yeah, to balance it out. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And then this is my archer set here.
Nice.
Again, it's just defense, health, and skill damage.
Yeah, so I'm noticing a pattern here. A lot of stats.
I tried.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, because I guess even on the archer set here, like I'm still using a purple one,
Which
right?
is
Like it's
quite good.
pretty decent stats. Yeah, like it's 2%. Unfortunately, I haven't had much luck with a bunch of the flag ones, so I'm stuck with using the purple one for this march.
They're all useful stats for archers. Like all the stats you need for archers right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like got the march speed, got the health, got the defense. Like it's like this seems pretty good for now until I get a better one. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And then
Oh yeah, that's the
this
main
is
one.
this is the second one. Skill damage, defense, and skill damage. I mean, this one, if I could, I would prefer to have a little bit more health over the defense. So I'll probably keep an eye on the armaments for a health piece later on.
Yeah, maybe you can switch one piece between the set
I think so.
to balance it out.
Yep, exactly. So I'll definitely keep an eye on it to see if I can improve it a little bit more. And then lastly is my infantry wedge. So yeah, I use wedge on my CPO because I just don't have a good arch one yet. Or I should say not as good as this one.
Yeah,
So
a
it's
lot of people have
for
that
now.
issue.
Yeah. So I'm still working on my arch set. It's kind of a work in progress, but for now I'll stick to wedge. And then I can even show you this is the arch formation. So it's a work in progress.
Yeah,
So it's getting along there
it's
for
decent.
sure.
It's decent, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So one day when it's good enough, I think I'll switch it.
Okay, so can we see your actual marches? What pairings do you use?
Yep. Let's go. Let me recall this one. So the first march I do is Herman and YSG.
So you split up Zulge
Second,
and Herman?
exactly, because on my previous KVK, I was using Boudica with YSG, and that was actually my least favorite march, mainly because of the lack of march speed. I felt like I was always waiting for that march to catch up, or that march was very easily caught out of position because it's so slow. So I decided to split the two marches this way, and I find that the balance is a little bit better between the four commanders
Yeah,
until I can replace Boudica. This is my current setup because I think Asher Benapole is what I'm aiming for next.
solid upgrade. Yeah.
Yep. And then my infantry march is CPO with LC.
Yeah.
It's my only infantry march, so I chose to stick with CPO. It's still a really good march. I'm very happy with this march.
Yeah, it is very, very thankful march in the field.
It's just yeah, I've been very very happy with this march. So I'll keep it the way it is until I need to improve it. And
Okay.
then my fourth march is just HQ and William. And
Nice.
then lastly, my fifth march is just Nevsky and Joan of Arc.
Standard.
Yeah,
Everything. Except archer
like it's
marches, everything looks like what you see in
yeah,
the tier lists. So no surprises here
and
really.
yeah, they just seem to work very well together. And I think for me, like the upcoming KVK, the plan again is to upgrade my Archer March a little bit. So this lineup will change just before, the past opening fight. But for now, yeah, this is what I have to work with. And then, yes, 6th and 7th March, this is just my Altar of Darkness March, just HQ and Joan with Zeta and Herman.
Mm-hmm. So you have a robust lineup, but how do you decide which commander you're actually going to invest or skip?
That's a good question. So the way I kind of approach this is when a new commander comes out, I kind of look at it in a way of how it can improve my current lineup. It's I tend to get rid of the weakest link. So for example, obviously Boudica for me at the moment I think is my weakest link. So I would see like how the new commander could improve my overall Mars composition before deciding to throw my gold heads on it, because I'm not one of those people that rush to max a commander right away. I tend to take in the opinions of other creators and other people, like field experience, to see if a commander is worthwhile to invest before I actually do it. Just because, as we know, gold heads are precious, so it's just, I think it's best to invest smartly. And I guess speaking of that, Asher Benopole again is my next target. I plan to use him with YSG.
Oh yeah, triple relic YSG.
I think so, yeah. Like the triple relic with Asher Benopole, I think it's a nice little upgrade from Boudica. And as you can see, I've saved 1,400 gold heads, so I have like a decent amount to invest for this commander, and then whatever's coming out next, which might be the Cav commander, I guess.
Yeah, I think late January. Late January.
Yeah, the Cav commander, or even I think they just introduced Philip. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Now Philip, because I know people are eyeing on this commander, right? Because this is versatility. So, but again, I'm just gonna wait a little bit to see how he actually performs in a murder ball situation and on the field before I invest.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will wait for Philip to see, because they're risky. It might be a risky investment. So
right, but potentially he could be really good. Potentially, we'll see.
I'm leaning towards working on it, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
So we'll just say, like the commander swap we have in January. So you would swap your Boudica for Ash in an ideal scenario.
If I could, I would for sure, like, cause, or like a Boudica or some kind of like swap El Cid or something with Ash Benopole, like something along the lines of that.
That would be too good. For sure. That would be too good.
Yeah.
Even for an ideal scenario, that's too good.
Yeah. I mean, there's also Edward of Woodstock, but I'm not too sure, just because sometimes his skills are good for support skills. I think for KVKs, for certain KVKs.
True.
So
true.
I'll yeah, ideally, El Cid would be my top choice to get rid of, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so I saw that you were scrolling in your commander list. I see you also have some garrison commanders, some rally commanders. So
yes. So I have a few Cav garrison in Hera. I mean, the main reason why I have Jad and Yan is just because the old kingdom I was playing in at one point lacked garrison players.
I see.
So I thought, okay, I can help you guys out a little bit and max a garrison commander, trying to be a team player. So that's why I max Yan. That's also why I max Hera as well.
Yeah, not just for chaining.
I mean, for chaining, I think I had Hera at like 5,000 before for barb chaining.
It's enough.
Yeah, it's enough. And then eventually I maxed him during my last KVK against 2975.
So did you like the
Where
garrisoning aspect of the game?
I mean, I always find it helpful to have a garrison in my city if I'm random teleporting, if I'm off territory for whatever. It's just I just feel a little safer than having like a Charles Martel as my garrison.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, if I were, if I were to play again, would I invest my gold hits into Yan? Probably not. I would probably invest it elsewhere. On a field march most likely, because I could have gone Ashurbanipal Pole by now to use, but I try to save my gold heads to a point where I could always max if I need to.
Fair enough. But if you garrison at one point in KVK, that means you're maxing tech. Are you like a high spender in KVKs or?
Um, earlier, earlier,
Yeah, back in COVID.
in yeah, I think like around then too, right? Because well, here I guess that leads to a funny story, interesting story. So
Can we see your inventory? Let's see.
yes,
Let's see
okay.
how you're stacked up. You freshly migrated here, so
Yeah, so yeah, since I migrated here about like a month ago, I've been farming as much gold as I can. So I do have some level 2 chests and level 1 chests and a bunch of the 1,000 tokens. I think I have, last time I checked, I have about 9 billion in food, 8 billion in wood, and I think about 5 billion in stone, and 2.5 billion in gold tokens.
wow.
So I have the least in gold, so that's why I'm gathering as much gold as possible. Even with my pick one chests, like they can all go towards gold, but ideally I would like to save them for last minute use. And I do think this KVK I will most likely have to open some resource tokens to have enough.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. But I think after this update, you're gonna know for sure how many resources you have with the calculator in game.
Yeah, that will be really helpful. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I think that's a nice quality of life improvement that they're adding.
Yeah, especially the speed ups too.
Yeah, and I guess speed ups I have um about a year of training speed ups that I saved up,
Yeah. Are you
and
going for the
then
Zenith?
I would like to I would like to go for a Zenith skin. Yeah, because one day I would like to push over 100 million power, so maybe that's a good excuse to go over Zenith. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, fingers crossed, I can save enough speed ups for a push one day. And there's about 1,400 days of universal speed ups that I have. So you can see a lot of the 1 minutes and 5 minutes are from barb chaining.
I see. Yeah, you're stocked up. But do you have issues with speed ups in KVK at times?
Uh, Back then, before I did, like back then, I would go to an Imperium KVK before when I was in 1484 with 300 days of speed ups,
Hmm.
and then started the fighting with 400 days. And then I would run out of speed ups in Kingsland, especially at the one where it was 1484 and 2489, where we fought for 7 days in Kingsland. I ran out of speed ups at the end. So that's the first time I ran out of speed ups.
Yeah, I think
But
yeah, probably we're not alone. At 7 day Kingslands are not very common.
yeah, that was a really long Kingsland because I had like zero universal speed ups left, like zero, to the point where yeah I couldn't do anything. So hopefully I won't run out of speed ups this KVK. Hopefully it's enough, but at the same time, hopefully it's enough to
Yeah, I think
enough
you'll
for the healing.
yeah, I think you'll reach 20 billion just fine.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That'll be my goal. That'll be my goal.
Nice. Oh yeah, so prior to the you getting access to the account, how much KP did it have once you forgiven the actual
Ah,
account. Yeah, more than most people spend. But
yeah.
how is it nowadays? Are you like a low spender?
Nowadays, like, yeah, I'm a pretty low spender. Like, especially during off season. Like, I don't buy anything, except for like a recharge event. That's the only time I would spend on, for example, like my supply depot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but for KVK, I would usually just get the crystal supply, the lucerne, and then either pop up or no pop ups. Like, it's kind of, you know,
Yeah,
50-50, but usually I try to get the pop ups if I can. But no Mountain Warfare, no Conquer Swell, nothing like that for sure.
impressive, impressive. So you had a really good account. You had a really unique situation happen to you. But since then, did you have like a really big challenge that you had as a player regarding
Uh,
something?
so for me, like just spending less in the game, made it a little bit more challenging for getting more kill points.
Yeah.
So just not having as much crystal tech, I think I find for me that was the one of the biggest challenge. And then in my previous kingdom as well too, just having to do markers and stuff, that made it quite difficult to like it made it quite difficult to play. Like, because before, like, yeah, you can hide markers, but it's very difficult to be putting markers and playing at the same time without giving away, like, oh, like, ball here, or like secret four drop over here,
Yeah,
kind of
especially
thing.
especially if you're streaming, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, especially if you're streaming, right? Like, it's very easy, like, to stream snipe. So now, I mean, I'm very happy there's like the filter mode where you can quickly hide and unhide the markers. That for me helps a lot, makes it easier, makes my life easier streaming and playing.
Yeah, there's a lot of quality of life updates recently.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like small things, right? It's like small little things, even the quick commands, which I'm still getting used to. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at it.
I mean, yeah, they all add up eventually over
Yeah,
time.
yes, exactly. Small things that add up for sure.
So what made you actually start streaming in the first place?
So I think because since I was playing a lot already, I've just figured, and I follow other content creators like Plotto Gaming, and I thought, okay, if I'm playing already, like, it could be an interesting aspect to stream it as well too. Just because if I'm doing something already, so it's just to add to it, and I quite really enjoy chatting with the audience, interacting with the chat audience on the stream. I find it a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah,
So that's the reason why I think main reason why I think I started streaming.
yeah. How long you been doing it?
I guess my channel's been up what, like, for like sometime over a year now. Yeah, like a little bit over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, like I'm slowly growing the channel, but I definitely really enjoy it. But unfortunately, I'm not very good at making videos yet still because I'm really bad at editing. So that's why I stream.
Yeah, it's a work in progress with
But
each
yeah,
video, with each
yeah, I
stream.
got like, yeah, like, if I had to rate myself out of 10, my editing skill is like 2.5.
Yes. That says a lot.
Yeah, I gave myself a half to feel a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, what was your biggest challenge as a streamer? Was it just starting?
I think starting out was definitely difficult. I feel like because when I first started streaming, there were not as many people in the audience. So it naturally made the engagement a little bit more difficult. Um,
Mm-hmm.
while I'm streaming. I mean, thankfully, like, I was helped by other content creators as well to draw a little bit more audience, and that I think helped me be more interactive with the audience, which I still greatly appreciate them helping me out.
Yeah, do you feel like you have like a core audience that tunes into your streams every time?
I think so. There's definitely for sure, 100%.
Yeah, that's a nice feeling.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's small, but hopefully I'm keeping. Like I still think it's gonna grow slowly. So I'm looking forward to the growth and experience.
Yeah, it will happen. Just gotta keep doing it.
Yep.
Okay, with a name like OnlyFarmer, I'm guessing you have a lot of farms. So can you show us how many?
Yeah.
What is your method?
So I think in total I have about um 11 farms here in 2885, and then I have around like another seven farms or so back in 2268 that I left behind. But majority of these farms that I brought over are usually around 20 to maybe 30 million power.
Yeah, it's big farms.
Yeah, I mean, I try to grow them differently than before because a lot of the older farms that I had, for example, like these ones I would be growing them to get more power between like 30, 40 million plus power back then with the technology. But now I try to keep them below 30 million while still having a decent amount of troops, right? So this is like, it's almost 3 million troops here, right? With under 30 million power. So I try to keep the research tech a lot lower nowadays
Yeah.
to keep the power down because of the whole
Domain.
power. Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, all that stuff. Like so that's the direction I took with the newer farms. And it's it does it does affect a little bit, I find, with certain things. For example, I think some of the power events where you get automatic rewards, I think I don't get as much on these farms. So as you can see, the tokens, it's lacking a little bit in general. But I try to do barbarian force as much as possible, especially during pre-KVKs to get these level 2 resource packs to help with resources to sustain myself throughout, the KVKs, to have enough resources. And I mean, I'm a farmer, right? So
mm,
I need resources. I need resources.
of course, of course. So, would you know an estimate of how average resources you spend on each KVK?
I think on average, I try to have at least 5 billion of each.
Okay.
Yeah, around 5 billion of each. It's like a pretty decent amount. If I need to spend some tokens afterward, which is totally fine. But yeah, I aim for around that much per KVK. If I can get more, perfect. Even better, be more comfortable.
Okay, that's reasonable, and it's
Yep, I
not
agree.
that
Yeah,
not that hard to do when you have 11 farms, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Cause and then the other thing is too, I also keep my farms on different emails. Because I play with multiple devices in a KVK, right? I have my farm accounts on my phone as well, and and I've learned that it's actually better to have your farm accounts in different emails because then you can access, you can be farm filling with on different devices at the same time. Makes it easier because if you have everything, if you have all your farm accounts in one email, it's actually really hard to farm fill, especially with your main accounts on. So that's one thing I try to keep in mind by spreading out my farm over different emails.
So you have a bunch of devices in front of you, ready.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Because normally on my main accounts, it would be my iPad, and then on my phone and on my laptop will be my farm accounts I'll be accessing.
And you do all that while you're streaming.
Yes, yeah, exactly,
Wow,
exactly. Multitask,
that's a
multitask.
lot of multitasking. Wow.
I mean, sometimes, I mean, I also use I also use that to keep an eye on multiple parts of the map, right? For example, right, I can keep an eye of a building flag, for example. I can keep an eye of a fort we're garrisoning, for example. It's a little bit it's a little bit easier to have like views of different parts of the map too.
Definitely. So how many farms would you actually recommend for people to aim for, like at least to have?
I would say anywhere between, I think, 5 to 7. It's like a good starting, like a pretty reasonable number of farms, I think. It should get you like, a decent amounts of resources per KVK without having to manage too many farm accounts at once. I tend to lean toward to the higher side, like 7 at least, just because the resources you get from each farm really adds up. The more you have,
Yeah.
especially in the pits. And then it also gives you enough troops to help your kingdom fill structures and rallies and everything. So, yeah, I would say maybe 5 to 7. Anything over 10, I think it's requires quite a bit of work to manage
Yeah.
and to log in every day, I guess.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So I noticed you actually made a video about how to quickly transfer all those hard-earned resources more efficiently. So can you show us?
Yeah, for sure. So before I migrated to 285 here, I transferred 70 billion from my accounts out. So the trick that I learned from someone else was, because normally I would have to click on a city, move my cursor, or if I'm on an iPad, move my wrist to click on the assist button, flick my wrist to select the resource, and then move my cursor again to hit the transport button. It's very tiring when you're transferring billions and billions of resources. So the way that I learned is, for the target city, I would zoom in a little bit until you start seeing the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you click on the city, the assist button should if you click on the left side of the city, the assist button should kind of line up already to where you're clicking. And then you can also line up, for example, a specific resources, so it automatically selects it all the way already. So, for example, I believe if I do this, yeah, there we go. So I'm just triple clicking on the spot.
Yeah, I can see it. Just have to find the sweet spot.
Yeah, there's a sweet spot. It might require a little bit of time at first, I find, to set it up. But once you set it up, it makes it a lot quicker to transfer billions and billions of resources without moving my cursor so much. And then if I were to take it to a different step further, is to use my iPad, right? I will use my left hand to set up the clicking here, and then I'll use my right hand to hit the transport button. And then that way, it's just minimal movements throughout. And it really, for me, like it saved a lot of hassle transferring 70 billion resources, because
That's
that
a
would have
lot. Yeah.
driven, it was a lot. Like it was a lot.
Okay.
But I did spread it out over 7 days. I think I transferred about 10 billion in a little bit over half an hour each day. And then I spread out over the week, so I didn't have to get too bored spending hours and hours transferring.
Yeah. Luckily, there are no more verifications. So
Yeah, that is actually a really good. That's a really good thing that they took out, because it used to drive me nuts to like constantly click on the verification.
okay. Is there any other tip that you found to be useful and that you use regularly?
So for me, when I stream fighting, I actually have my markers turned off, so it doesn't reveal too much on the stream. I actually use my phone on the side to keep an eye off the markers.
Ah,
So that way, I can stream without showing markers on my stream here, but then I can still see the markers on my farm accounts that's in the same coalition to see where I need to go and what updates there are that way. So that's why I use my phone as well a lot.
that's a neat trick actually. Maybe I'll use it. But I
It's,
usually,
it, it it does
yeah,
help. Yeah.
I usually stream with the markers. I just try to avoid it as much.
Yeah, because like especially like when they drop like a fort drop here, like I mean I try
Yeah,
to hide that for sure,
yeah,
like a secret fort drop.
yeah. Just try to talk out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh yeah. There's no marker there. Yeah, yeah.
Your account seems pretty stacked. The only thing that you're really missing right now are some special inscriptions. So, hoping, since you joined our kingdom, we hope that we're gonna bring you more luck with the special inscriptions with winning KVKs. And with all that said, thank you for your time. I had a good conversation and I learned some new things about playing, farming, and streaming. And if you guys want to check out our channel, link is in the description below. And with all that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you for having me.